Minus, we still have a little bit of light rain, and this light rain really is probably sprinkles enough to, as I mentioned before, wet the pavement. But as of right now, it's working with a lot of dry air, so this won't probably reach a lot of the ground. But still, for the morning commute, you might see a little bit, maybe enough to get the windshield wipers going, but that's really about it. For about a couple hours along I-94 and probably south of I-90, it'll continue through for about 9 to 10 a.m. But for the most part, everyone will probably remain dry with decreasing clouds as we get past towards the noon hour, and that'll allow the temperatures in the afternoon to get quite high. We'll get back up into the low 60s to the south, maybe the mid to upper 50s to the north, given that they'll have a little bit more cloud cover lingering through the late morning and early afternoon hours, but still well above average, about 10 degrees above where we should be. Now going Friday, it's a little bit more tricky because we are going to have a front that's going to lift north overnight into Friday morning, along with a little bit of a shower or thunderstorm chance. It's going to sit right to the north, so you can see this big temperature difference from near 80 further south all the way up to about just 52 at Ladysmith, where that boundary is going to be sitting right there, with precipitation kind of right along it, right to the north of it. So a lot of areas will be 70 near 80, but a few areas, unfortunately, may be stuck into the 50s for Rusk County too. Now, as we go on, we're looking at Saturday. The kind of front begins to shift a little bit further south. We have systems kind of coming through, so a nice north or easterly wind, 40s to the 60s. So overall, for some areas, not bad of a Saturday, and the precipitation chances really are less in the morning. I think a lot of areas will not see much in the way of rainfall until we get to the late afternoon or evening hours, so maybe not quite as bad as Saturday, especially if you're further south where you still get in the 60s and overnight lows will be into the 50s. As I mentioned, the system is kind of messy. Some areas will get that wintry type mix going on, but Friday night through Saturday morning, some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm. As I mentioned, a lot of areas will probably remain dry Saturday morning. Maybe as you go further north, you might see a better chance. The heavier rainfall or the steadier rainfall really looks to come in the afternoon, late afternoon to evening. That's when I think we'll see the most rainfall is Saturday night through early Sunday. The wintry mix starts becoming an issue as you go north of I-94, and then everyone will start seeing at least a transition to mix or snow some point Sunday through Sunday night. Accumulation is possible, so we'll have to watch the road conditions Sunday night into Monday. Given this time of year, you really got to be at the nighttime to get any type of real road issues unless you got some heavy amounts of snow coming down, and I don't expect to see that. So overall, it'll be much colder going into Sunday too as we go on. Overall, ice potential is just north of Rusk County. The area to watch is really northeast Wisconsin, where they could pick up a quarter of an inch or even more of ice, sleet, pellets, all that fun stuff. And otherwise, snow amounts, this will probably have to be refined, and it's not all at one point. It's probably basically Sunday night. So a bounce of May could be 2 to 3 inches. I think that a lot of the areas will probably see like a ½ inch or 1 inch actually on the ground. This does not mean you'll see 2 to 3 inches on the road. That'll have to be determined how much we get at night too. So stay tuned to more updates on that. But otherwise, the bigger story is once we hit 77 on Friday, it's going to feel real cold going into Sunday when we're barely getting into the 40s, and some areas are in the 30s. And early next week, we start off in the 40s. We warm up a little bit, but there's another thing to keep an eye on Wednesday, Thursday, which could be more rain or even snow for some areas once again too. Wow. So it's April now.
That's so far to look ahead to that.
Yes,
I
know.
To be talking
Enjoy
about
for Thursday and Friday here.
Okay.
All right.
Very well.
Thanks, Greg.